That's as pretty a win as you will see. Perhaps the most complete win of the season. Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan, Ruben Amaro Jr. to come in just a few moments as we welcome you to Phillies Post-Game Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Let's see. They had power hitting. Let's see. They had great starting pitching. They had station-to-station baseball. And oh, by the way, Taijuan Walker got his first save, a 3-inning save at that. Ben, which impressed you the most about this win tonight, 7-0?
Sánchez threw the ball well. I didn't like the 3 walks, but the lineup, what they were able to do tonight was outstanding. Just last 2 nights, really. Staying behind the baseball, not always relying on they didn't only hit 1 home run tonight, and they scored 7 runs. That's very reassuring to me. These guys are clicking on all cylinders. And again, 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position again, just like last night. So this lineup is swinging it right now. I mean, they are swinging it.
It sure is. Let's go down south to Tampa Bay, site of tonight's win. Going for the sweep tomorrow. Here's the crossover presented by Chapman Auto Stores. There is Ruben Amaro Jr. Rube, I'll ask you the same question because this was a delight to watch. Took him maybe a little while. 3rd inning, Trey Turner gets the home run, starts the scoring. And Cristopher Sánchez pitched a gem, a 1-hit shutout, certainly in 7 innings or 6 innings. And then on comes Taijuan Walker to do the rest. It was a great win.
It really was a really quality win. And you said it is about as complete a win as you possibly could have. Excellent defense. They swung the bats well. I thought Cristopher Sánchez threw the ball well. I think that there's a bunch of calls that he probably didn't get that probably led to some of those walks. I agree with Ben, don't like the 3 walks, but he had a lot of soft contact, a lot of ground ball contact. They made the plays for him. And then the hitting, obviously, we've been talking about the slug the last, couple of weeks. They've been swinging the bats with some power. But today, I think they only had like 2 extra base hits, a double by Harper and the home run by Trey Turner. After that, I mean, it was just nothing but base hits, and they moved the ball around the ballpark. They didn't try to do too much, ran the bases well. They did pretty much everything you wanted to do. And then, the icing on the cake at the end with Taijuan Walker, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, and 7 punch-outs in 3 innings for his first save. That's pretty darn impressive. This is about as complete a win as you can get.
Ruben, Johan Rojas at the bottom of the lineup, hitting .303. He's almost like a leadoff hitter at the bottom of this lineup, getting on base for the top of the order, and he's coming through. He's running the bases well. He's playing good baseball right now, isn't he?
He is, and it's a credit to him because there's a lot of doubters out there who thought that this guy, was not a major league offensive player. Well, he's doing some things really well. He's shortening up with 2 strikes. He got the big bunt down today. He had struggled to do that in Chicago a couple of times when he was asked to do it. And it was nice to see him bounce back and play a good, solid defense. I mean, he has the ability to be a lead out there, but he's had some gaffes. But he's played very good baseball, and that's the reason why Rob Thompson's going to sort of not a necessarily strict platoon, but he's going to give Marsh some opportunities in center. He's going to give Rojas some opportunities in center. And it's a good problem to have if both those guys are starting to produce. Because if you have production there at the bottom of the lineup, boy, that makes that top of the lineup even much more effective.
Rube, they played 36 games. Rojas has played in 26 of them now. He's batting .303. We've seen his blinding speed. We've seen what the glove can do on both sides of that, if you will. The .303 batting average, at what point do you say, you know what, he's a better hitter than we thought he was, and this is around where he's going to be?
Well, I mean, again, a lot of it depends on it's a long season. It's nice to see him be able to shorten up and do some things and to put the ball in play and to start to feel comfortable. Sometimes it takes a little while for a major leaguer who is still developing at the major leagues to start to feel comfortable on a day-to-day basis. But, hey, not everybody gets to play every day right out of the chute, and maybe he'll work himself into that position at some point. But it's nice to see him being productive. And right now, when you have that production at the bottom of the lineup, with the way the guys in the middle of the lineup are swinging the bat, that's just a plus. And if he continues to play good, solid defense and continues to mature as a player, who knows what kind of player this guy can be, because he has the physical talents to do a lot of things.
Lastly, Taijuan Walker. Certainly, he's been hammered in these parts. All we really ever wanted him to be was dependable. He struggled to be that at times, unfortunately too much. This season as a starter, he was pretty darn good. And when Ranger Suarez came back into the bullpen, and I mean, maybe he's found himself. Maybe this is his future. A 3-inning save, his ERA is 2.30. What is his future in your view, Ruben?
Well, I think they're going to utilize him whenever they can, and the beauty of the guy is that he'll do basically anything the team's asked him to do. It's not like he said, you know what, I'm not pitching unless I'm starting. I mean, he didn't pull the Marcus Stroman card. He didn't do that. He said, listen, if the team can help me, if I can help the team, then I'm going to do it in whatever role possible. And I think you never know. I mean, this bullpen could use a little bit of depth. You never know when he might have to pitch into some of the tight games in leverage innings, and that is a possibility. As long as he keeps pitching like he's pitching right now, you never know. The guy could be pitching in the 7th, 8th, or 9th later on. All
right, Ruben. Thanks so much, Ruben Amaro Jr. Calling the game with Tom McCarthy in Tampa Bay. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow, my friend.
He was outstanding.
You look at his numbers tonight. He lowers his ERA by more than 1/2 run. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, with 3 walks on 85 pitches. He's now 4-1 with a 2.89 in 7 starts. The walks, he is now averaging 2 walks per start, 7 starts. Is that just something we're going to have to live with from him?
I think if there's one negative thing you could say about the starting rotation, it has been the walks. As a collective group, they've walked a lot more than what we thought we would see out of them this year. We saw it early on with Noli, even Zach Wheeler. So this is something that's kind of and when Taijuan Walker started, he had some games where he had quite a few walks. So it's something I think they would want to tame if they can, because obviously you're asking for, I know this isn't murderer's row, this race. We're going over some of their batting averages. Poor. So even if he walks these guys, it's going to come back to bite you at some point.
The thing is, they are now 8-2 in their last 10 games. They have now won 4 straight series. It's their 8th series win overall this season. This team is rounding into form regardless of their competition. He continues to help this team win, even if he's struggling getting the hits. 1 for 3 tonight, though. Here is Rob Thompson post-game in Tampa.
What do you like most about what your offense has been able to do during this little roll?
Well, we're seeing a lot of pitches. We're really working on the starter, getting his pitch count up there, getting him out. And we're using the entire field. In that, what was it, the 4th inning? I think we had 4 opposite field hits where we scored all those runs. We're controlling the strike zone, and that's what you got to do.
What's your level of concern about JT?
0. We don't even need X-rays. He's walking around fine now. They treated it out, so right now he's. We'll see how he comes in tomorrow. But
so he just said, "Let me finish the at bat. I'm good." And then you said,
as soon as he took his first swing, he kind of hopped on it, and that was it for me. I would have ran for him if he had gone on base.
Okay. Trey homered today, and I know you said a couple days ago, like before the season started, you said like, "Don't worry about homers.
Yeah.
Just get on base, just score runs." What kind of prompted that conversation? Do you remember what made you?
Well, just because he's hitting at the top of the lineup, and my thoughts going in was that I wasn't sure where Schwarber was going to be, whether he was going to be leading off or behind Harp. But if Trey gets on base in front of Harp, then we're in pretty good shape. And I think Trey's, when we look up at the end of the year, he's going to have 15 to 20 at least. So he doesn't have to focus on that. And the thing that was really impressive was that after the home run, he still got the base hit to right field later in the game. So that tells me he's staying with that approach.
Rojas kind of finding ways to contribute different ways. Just what have you thought about like the bunting kind of evolution?
It was good, we safety squeeze there. Usually we do it. I mean, we've done it a lot first pitch. I decided to wait a pitch. They got ahead in the count, which makes it a little bit tougher. But he did a great job. And JT did a great job base run too.
What did you think of Sanchez?
I thought his command and his control was off a little bit tonight. He was searching for the secondary pitches early in the game. the velocity fluctuated a little bit, but I thought he got better as the game went on. He finally found his changeup and started to command the strike zone. So, but early in the game, he was searching a little bit. But that's the difference between Sanchi now and Sanchi a couple years ago, when that could have just flailed. But he, he's matured and he's got some experience now, and he trusts himself and he believes in himself, and he just kept battling.
Talk about tying the
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's
the stuff jumped up. A lot of swing and miss, obviously, with 7 strikeouts, but and he pounded the strike zone. That was really impressive.
How nice is it for a manager for that to be his first outing out of the bullpen when he goes out there to have?
Yeah, and now you start thinking about different things with him, but now, at the same time, we want to keep his pitch count up because we might go back to a 6-man, but geez, that looks pretty good for 1 inning, too.
So by different things, you mean like leverage?
Yeah, if that guy can dial it up for an inning or 2, that's really something.
And when you look at his performance tonight and the way he has pitched as a starter this year, what has turned it around for him? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? You mentioned the heat down in Tampa Bay. I don't think it was as much that, but either he repaired himself from some injury, or he repaired his head, and he's thinking a little bit better than he did.
He did a lot of off-season. He started last year, and then he went into this all-season about getting his arm strength back up. Not that velocity is everything, but when you're throwing 93, 94, it's a heck of a lot better than 88, 89, and it's really offsetting that split-finger fastball that he's throwing. But I think it's a mindset. I think it's a conditioning thing, and also I think, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. I think he's a little ticked off. Good. I think he's taking that out to the mound. When you get ticked off, you get that adrenaline flowing a little bit more, but he's thrown the ball extremely well in his starts this year. Ranger comes back, he gets bumped to the bullpen, and you're looking at the performance tonight. It was like, you know what? The heck with you guys. I'll show you what I got. Yeah. I think that played a little bit into it tonight as well, but I would be ticked off if I were him. Why wouldn't you? He's been a starting pitcher his whole life. He signs here a 4-year deal to be a starting pitcher, and it just hasn't worked out for him. But tonight he threw the heck out of the baseball. This year he has thrown the heck out of the baseball.
Because remember, you master your mind, you master your world. Who said that? I got to think about that. Anyway, Taijuan Walker saved the game for Cristopher Sánchez. Here he is post-game in Tampa Bay.
Feel about this outing tonight to go 6 scoreless after, I guess, some early control stuff.
Como te sentiste en la salida de hoy, 6 innings en blanco, luego de un poquito de problema con el control temprano? Bien, me sentí bien. Creo que el bullpen está más alto que la lomita. Creo que eso fue un poquito al principio, que nunca había pichado así. No, pude hacer el ajuste después.
I feel good, and I think that the bullpen is a little different from the actual one, and I hadn't pitched like that, so had to make a little adjustments, but we were able to do it.
You think that's why you were missing outside to some red hitters early in the game?
Yo creo que por eso estaba fallando un poquito fuera con los derechos temprano en el juego. No me gusta poner excusas, pero sí creo que era un poquito, porque allá el bullpen está alto y aquí está un poquito más bajito. Lo pude hacer el ajuste, que es lo importante.
I don't like to make excuses, but bullpen was a little higher than the actual mound, so but we could make the adjustment, and that's what's important for us tonight.
Rob said that the Cristopher Sánchez of a couple of years ago might not have been able to minimize the damage the way you were tonight, despite that. How do you feel like you've kind of evolved in that way?
Sí, el manager dijo que el Cristopher Sánchez hace un par de años no hubiese podido minimizar el daño hoy con lo que te pasó temprano en el juego. ¿Cómo tú crees que tú has evolucionado como pitcher de hace un par de años para atrás? Como lo acaba de decir, los años van pasando, uno va aprendiendo, uno va mejorando, uno va adquiriendo experiencia, y creo que esos son parte del momento, que cuando uno está ahí afuera y uno tiene un poquito de malos momentos con los picheos, uno puede hacer el ajuste y volver al Sánchez que soy yo.
Like he said, years come by and they pass by as well, so you're more experienced, we're better players, better as people, so it's like that's what it's all about, to whenever we're off, and with anything we can just from what we've learned and the experience, we can just learn how to adjust and be like the pitcher that I am today.
Just from the perspective of a starting pitcher, how impressive is it to see someone like Taijuan go from the rotation to the bullpen and have the sort of success that he did?
Sí, desde la perspectiva de un abridor como tú eres, que tan impresionante ve a Taijuan hacer la transición hacia el bullpen y luego que saliendo del bullpen hoy le haya ido también.
Es difícil, es bien difícil porque que son diferentes preparaciones, pero le doy todo el crédito a Tai que hizo un tremendo ajuste y está luciendo súper bien ahí desde el bullpen.
It's really hard. I mean, you know, it's different preparation overall, like from the bullpen to the starting pitchers. So hats off to Ty. All credit to him. Made tremendous adjustment and just went out there and did a great job.
It almost looked, and I was talking to our esteemed producer, Sean King, it almost looked like they had something on him, like he was tipping his pitches or something, because the first time through, it wasn't pretty at all. And the second time through was a completely different story, and they got to him, and 3 1/3, he threw 83 pitches in 3 1/3. 83, that's a boatload of pitches. But they got to him, and next thing you know, he's out of the game, burning through that bullpen to the Rays again. It's only going to help the Phils tomorrow.
It was surprising to see that happen because I thought, wow, this guy, because he did some damage against them last year here, and I thought, well, he's picking up where he left off, and it wasn't to be because of Trey Turner starting it off with a home run. As we go to Turner's interview in the clubhouse, remember what Rob Thompson said about the conversation he had with Trey Turner preseason about keeping the power down and the singles up, and the power will come, and it did tonight.
What are you enjoying most about the way you guys are performing offensively during this last run?
It just feels like everybody's doing something, which is always nice, and moving runners. You know, Ross had a great bunt, but we're also driving the ball again, so just total package.
What do you feel like you've been doing well the last 16, 17 games or so?
Just taking my hits, really. Feel like my two-strike hitting's been good. Hitting the ball the other way pretty good, and just need to start pulling in the air, and today was kind of nice to see that happen. Was working on that quite a bit in the cage, and but yeah, just get those mistakes and put a good swing on it.
So Robin said, like, before the season, he told you, like, please don't worry about home runs. We can, you know, get on base, do damage on the base paths. You know, did that? I don't know. Would you make of that message?
I mean, I think it's kind of always been my game and who I am, but I think the walks have helped with that. You know, been walking, at least early on. I was walking quite a bit lately. Not as much, but I think that comes when, you know, you're putting the ball in play and making good contact. You know, you walk less normally. So just having that high on base percentage is nice, and you know, if you hit 300, you should be getting on base higher than what I have in the past. So that's where I, you know, feel like I've seen the differences more so. I'm just kind of controlling the zone and taking my walks.
Is that something you needed to, like, hear, or
no?
Like,
I think
something that caught you off guard. Like,
no. I think it's just hard to do for me personally. Because
what's hard to do?
Well, walking. I mean, I feel like in the past I make contact. So even if I swing in a bad pitch, I kind of put it in play. And then I've always felt like, you know, where I've hit in lineups in my career, there's somebody bigger and scarier behind me, so I kind of feel like I'm ready to hit. They're going to come attack me, type deal. And you know, I think the game's changed a little bit where it doesn't really matter who you are. They kind of just want you to chase, kind of overall. So I guess just kind of accepting that the game has changed since when I first came in the league.
Okay. What was it like for you guys to see Taijuan?
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I'm happy for him, man. He's been pitching great, and to, you know, not even just give the bullpen a rest, but I mean, he just dominated. It was really good to see him throw the ball, and it felt like he was locating everything. Velo was there. It was just it was really good to see him. You know, like I said earlier, maybe a couple weeks ago, he's been great for us all year, and it's just good to see him throwing the ball again because, you know, I faced him before, and it's not fun, and you know, I think that's going to be big for us.
You said you were working in the cage.
I'm just taking my hits, really, says Trey Turner. And he said also, with regard to the conversation with Rob Thompson, he said, yeah, that was important, but the way I'm hitting now, it's always really been my game. It happens when you put the ball in play and make good contact. High on-base percentage is nice. When you hit 300, you should get on base higher than I have in the past. I'm taking more walks. And Ben, last 16 games, this would seem to be impossible, but he was batting .217 16 games ago. Now he's batting .307.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear him say what he said tonight, and it's not always easy to do because when you step in that batter's box, I always had one goal. When I stepped in that batter's box, it was to hit something hard. That was my only goal, is to go in that batter's box, hit something hard. Unless it was a situation where I had to move a runner or advance a runner, then that's different. But I was going to hit something hard. And he's a guy that swings the bat. He likes to swing the bat. And if he's not getting his pitch, you know, like you heard him say, if it wasn't my pitch, I'd still put it in play and make an out that way instead of laying off that pitch and possibly getting a walk later on. It's a lot easier said than done, because you look at Castellanos. There were times early in the year where he'd get a walk. He looked like he was ticked off. Yeah. Like he was mad that he had to go to first base via the walk. But it's not easy to do when you're accustomed to it. And he said, where I've always batted in the lineup, it seems like there's always someone bigger or scarier behind me, and I was getting more pitches to hit, so therefore I'd swing the bat. And there is definitely some credence to that. But right now he's in the zone. He's taking those lousy singles to right field. I'll take those any day of the week.
Yeah. Are you suggesting at all that Bryce Harper's been struggling, that he's kind of had to manufacture his own hits without the protection of Harper, only because he's not hitting the way he wants to right now?
Well, yeah, it also depends on if Trey's leading off, or if Stott's leading off, then Stott's right above Harper, like we saw tonight. And, that's the scenario that you're going to see, I think, moving forward. If there's a lefty on the mound, Trey Turner's going to be leading off, and then Harper will be behind him. But, yeah, I think it's Harper's starting to swing the bat a little bit better. So it's only going to affect everyone else in the lineup if Bryce Harper gets more pitches to hit.
All right, Trey Turner, 307 batting average, 375 on base percentage, 394 slugging percentage.